Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A Brief History of. I'm your host, Dale Treadway. Today we're going to get started with talking about 6 tips to help you know if information is reliable or not. In the times that we're in right now, it's very easy to just have anybody go on the internet or really do anything, and then just spread false information just in order to cause panic. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys 6 tips that I use in order to find my information for my videos. So, let's get started. Tip number 1. Put what you already know about the subject to good use. So, when you're reading, listening to a television show, articles, a website, you should always remember what you know. You shouldn't just read something and then go, oh, okay, so this is now true, and what I previously thought is no longer true. You should always remember what you previously knew, and keep that in mind, because it's only what makes sense. If we keep looking at information and then just think, oh, okay, so this is what's new now, I can forget the other stuff, no one is going to really be learning anything. We're just going to be learning false information, and that's not really learning. So, for example, studies show that washing hands actually helps spread or worsen COVID-19. So, we can use the information that we know. Soap and water kills viruses, it kills germs. This is obviously not true. So we can easily just say that fact is false. So we can just use that. If you need more information or you just don't know anything about the topic, you should always double check the reliability of the information. And that's going to get us into tip number 2. Check the reliability of the website. Now, this does go for any of the other stuff to an extent. You should always do it, but this specific tip is for websites, but you should always check the reliability of anything else. So, for websites, if you want to check the reliability, the easiest way is to look at the domain suffix of the website. This is stuff like .com, .edu, .gov, and all of the other ones. There are tons of other ones that the U.S. might not use, and there are in other countries. This is mainly for in the U.S. I do know that I have like a few people that are in Belgium and a few other places that do listen to this podcast. This is specifically for the United States. I don't know if these domain suffixes are any different, but let's give an example. So COVID-19 is now airborne. Information from COVID19.com. So let's look at the domain suffix of this. So .com. So .com is anybody can put any information on a .com website. .com is commercial use. Anybody can use it. If I wanted to, and I wanted to start a website for a brief history of, it would be a brief history of .com. So .com websites are one of the most unreliable sources, if not the most unreliable source ever, because anybody has it, anybody can have it, and anybody can thus put stuff on it. So for me, whenever I'm doing my research, I always try to find websites that have .edu or .gov for my topics. So .edu stands for educational and .gov stands for government. So .gov is as reliable as your government is. So there you go. If you trust the government as much as I do, the government's probably going to be your second to best bet. Educational is the number one best bet in my opinion. But this doesn't mean that you can only trust edu or .gov. And this is going to bring us into 3 you can still trust some sites no matter what their domain suffix is. So, believe it or not everybody's trying to fool you on the internet. So, not every .com website has false information. So, no, .com is not 100% don't rely on it, nothing. Nothing on it is reliable. It's not true. You can 100% trust .com websites as long as you can source them. So, as long as you do not have a doubt on this information, .com is good, but .com is normally something that you would have to double check, and .edu or .gov sites, you normally do not have to double check for those. So that's why I suggest using .edu and .gov, because you won't really have to double check those, whereas for .com sites you will. For the time that we're in right now with COVID-19, any .com website for COVID-19 information, you should always double check them just to make sure. So, number 4, you can also look up the source of the information. So, everybody has to get their sources from somewhere, and some people get it from themselves, and that's fake. So, let's talk about 2 ways that you can find source informations, if any are on the website, article, or anything. So, number 1, the site could say the website in the article itself. So, in other words, according to sketchywebsite.com, COVID-19 is airborne. So there you go. All I have to do is to find sketchywebsite.com and I can check on it right there. However, since it says .com, I really shouldn't have to double check it because that's just .com. So that's 2 different sites and it should technically thus count as 1. So if it does say .com, don't even bother to check it. Look for another website. Rather it is a .com website or one of the .gov or .edus. If it says .com, don't even bother looking up that website. Look up another website. So the sources information could also be in the citations page. So for people that don't know what a citations page is, if you're younger than high school, citations are normally at the back of the article or website that has all of the links, all of the credibility from where the sources are. And you can go in there and you can check on all of those citations, all of those sources, and that's the second place. Now again, this is only if you can find them, because not everybody is going to have this. This is another problem with .com websites. .com websites rarely do have their source names in it. .edu sites almost always do, depending on what type of edu website you go, and .gov normally doesn't, but that's the government. So really, yeah, again, .gov is as reliable as you believe the government is. So if it's a .com website that does not have any way to find where they get their sources from, normally you should not trust it. So you should go find another place to find it. So yeah, and once you're able, in order to find the author's name or the source information, you should check it. And speaking of author's name, that's tying into the 5th tip, which is you need to always verify the person giving the information of a source, whether it be reliable or not, in the end, really. So in the end, you can't trust anybody. You can't trust everyone in the world. There will be people that want to lie, and they will lie about anything, including they will lie about ways to make you believe that they are reliable. They'll dress up in whatever they want to do, and that's the best way. For an example, Dr. Oz. Now, please hear me out on this. Pretty sure some people are like, oh no, he's going to talk crap about Dr. Oz. Bye. Just hear me out on this one. Even if you don't believe that this is true, you cannot deny that it is at least a possibility. Because still, like you can't just assume that everything is either true or not true. There is at least some truth to it. Yada yada yada. So for Dr. Oz is a heart surgeon who received his credentials from the University of Pennsylvania, among other universities. I do know Harvard was one of them. But he normally gives advice on alternative medicine, mainly for health and weight loss. Now, I don't know about you, but already that's kind of weird because all of the credentials for what he's using is heart surgeon. I don't know why he would necessarily know all of this other stuff for health. Now, yes, you could say, well, if you're not healthy enough, your heart's not healthy either. Yes, that is true, but for someone that knows so many different ways to lose weight and everything, it's a normal person that focuses on a heart and is a heart surgeon himself. That's just too much, in my opinion. And not only is that a little sketchy if you kind of look at it in a certain way, there are many other certified doctors that criticize the man and says that only less than half of his advice is scientifically sound. And there are people that have done almost all of his things and they've tested them, and less than half of them have actually proved to be successful in scientific terms. This all comes from ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. I will leave a link in the description below of this website so you can go check it out, but it is a .gov website, so there you go. But this website also says that there are many professionals that say Dr. Oz is actually a charlatan in the medical field, and many, if not all, of his professional colleagues in both his field and in other fields agree. They have even tried to get him removed from the chair at Columbia University, and right now, the only people that's keeping him afloat is Oprah Winfrey and the people that trust Oprah Winfrey. Right now, they are the only people that go with him, and almost, if not all of those people, do not have any credentials to say otherwise. So, I did want to bring that up. Again, you can believe what you can believe, but this at least has to have some merit. I do want to say that. But anyway, let's get on to the last one, because speaking of trusting people, we have number 6. The author's purpose can instantly say the information is reliable or not. So normally the author's purpose for an article is always a giveaway on what it is. If it's pure education, it is normally not biased. We'll say that much. And if it is biased, it's normally not educational except for that one side. So author's purpose is really, really important. And if you can figure out the author's purpose before you even completely read, and if it's not relatively okay, then we got a problem. But let's look at the example of Dr. Mikhail Varshavsky. I hope I did not butcher his name. I probably did. But he's also known as Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is a primary healthcare doctor who has a YouTube channel that is dedicated on digging up misinformation for not only his patients, but everybody else. Right now, it's mainly focused on the COVID-19 pandemic. In one episode, he explains that an article from NetGeoWild is not scientifically sound. The article says that has it in place. It has scary information like, oh no, COVID-19 causes lung failure, yada yada yada, and the next sentence is, this is only due to us knowing about its other corona family cousin, SARS. I know SARS was in it, but I don't know if that's the exact same one. I don't know. I've never heard of the coronavirus until COVID-19, and even before COVID-19 was, but still, I've never heard of it, so I can't say too much. This is why I recommend going to Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike got his credentials from a lot of other universities. You can look him up yourselves. He is a very reliable man, in my opinion. So there, and he has nothing in order to gain from anything, unlike Dr. Oz. So that's another reason why I believe him. And there's no dirt on him either. So right now he's clean. But anyway, if you want more information about Dr. Mike and the specific episode mentioned, click. There will also be a link to the episode down below, and from there you can check out his YouTube channel. So anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for today's episode. It's a little bit longer than normal. It's about almost 16 minutes. Normally, I do about 15 minutes at most, but I do want to get this point taken out. So there you go, guys. Those are 6 tips to help you guys know if information is reliable or not. And I'd like to say I'd see you next time, guys, but due to what's going on and the fact that school is out, I do get all of my equipment from school. Please forgive the bad quality if it is. I don't know if it is 100% bad quality, but I'm having to record on my laptop. I have no other better way. Anyway, guys, I would like to say to see you in the next episode, but right now, I don't know if there will be. So for now, this could very well be the last episode of A Brief History of for a little while, at least for season 1. I am hoping once I get out of college and I get a little bit more extra time on my hands, I'll be able, or once I get out of school, I'll be able in order to get back into it later on in life. So anyway, guys, I'll see you hopefully whenever I see you. Bye-bye.